What's up? This is Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. We're at the Clear Life HQ in League City. I have a guest here in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to find out everything they have going on. What's up?
What's up, man? Josh Superglue Altum from Texas City.
From Texas City. It's not too far here from League City, right?
Yeah, right down the street.
It's pretty easy to find us.
Yeah, easy.
We just need a sign.
Yeah,
we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, once y'all get the sign, it'll be easy access.
Yeah, you have a lot going on, and there's some big news that just dropped.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Signing with Elevate is what I got going on, and I think it's a big surprise to a lot of people. Just being that I leaving Fury, everyone's got Fury at their top, but I'm looking forward to, I wouldn't say helping, but helping grow another promotion, and I think that I think it's good to have another promotion over here that can produce quality fights and give fighters another platform other than just the one,
Mm-hmm. So. And you had fought, you fought for Fury, but you also fought for some other promotions as well, but you've been fighting for a long time, right?
Yeah. I'm 15 years in, and I'm getting older now. It's like weird. I'm in a position of like, I'm used to being the kid. I've just grown up. I've always been the kid in the gym, and it's just crazy now. Like when I'm in the gym, like I'm the older guy, so I've had to get used to like that, but yeah, I'm still young, but I'm definitely a vet in the game,
Mm-hmm. Elevate is a younger promotion.
Yeah.
But they have grown, I think, quickly. And we had talked about this. They may be like 20 events in when you count the amateurs, the fight nights, the sub series in just a couple years, right?
Yeah.
What is it about, I guess, the promotion overall? This is going to be the second pro event, and you're going to be, I believe, the headliner on it, right?
Yeah. To be completely transparent, I haven't been paying too much attention to Elevate. I kind of have just been focused on what I'm doing, and the thing that brought me to Elevate was just some things I don't agree with, and some things that aren't right with just business when it comes to Fury. And just the example I'll give is I'm a guy, I'm the whole reason they came to Galveston, and you see they haven't been back. They wanted to come back to Galveston in September, which I wanted to do. But I just already wasn't feeling right about what was going on, and I brought around, first off, I brought them $17,000 in cash before the tickets dropped. That's the way they made me to come to Galveston. That's the way they made me do it. I had to make sure that it was worth it for them to come, and I get that part, but it wasn't easy to go and collect.
That's a lot of money.
It wasn't easy to go collect all that. I had to actually pay. I actually paid for some people's tables, and they paid me back. Some people took a while to pay back. It's, it is what it is. I'm just glad they came, and we had a really good event, and I'm really confident that I could sell way more. I could do more for sure. That was just the first time, I got plenty of ideas of how to market it too, but I like I said, in total, I know I've brought them plenty of cash, plenty of money, more than in that one Galveston fight. I know I had brought them more money than most of all the Fury fighters with all their fights combined. Not all in a group, but the individual fighter. I know I brought them more money in that one event than most fighters bring them in all of their fights in their organization, And that's not bragging. That's not anything. That's just the facts of the situation. And we already had some things go on. And the final straw for me was they had contacted my coach, and they offered they were looking for someone to fight that girl that with the tattoos and the short hair. I can't remember her name, but they're trying to like hype her up basically. And they offered somebody who hasn't even made their pro debut yet, 0-0, and the girl that they're trying to hype up is also 0-0. They offered her more money to go fight that girl than me. And the times I've tried to negotiate with them, and bro, I'm not a hard guy to deal with when it comes to fighting. I've taken 1 week notice fights up a weight class for them. I've fought undefeated fighters. I've given them the fight of the year. I've brought them plenty of money. I've busted it to go get all that money. You know, it's not easy when you're in a training camp. I still have to pay my own regular bills, so I have to go work. You know, and for them to offer somebody more money than me when they won't even negotiate $200, you know, it just don't even make sense. You know, that girl that you're trying to hype up, I don't care who it is, hasn't made you $1. Hasn't made you $1 yet. And you're going to offer somebody more money than me? It just, like, it's so easy to just see how weird that is, you know? I just don't get how them even hitting up my coach that they thought that would be okay, because even he read it and he was like, you know, it was just like, I don't even know. It was just like an unbelievable kind of instance. You know?
So it kind of came down to business.
Yeah, you know, and don't get me wrong. I know that the money is not out here. The money is in the UFC. The money is in the big promotions. I get that. I'm not out, like I told you, I'm not a hard guy to deal with. The times I try to negotiate, I'm not trying to break your pocket. I'm not trying to ask Chris about this event. I'm helping him out with this upcoming event is all I'll say, because I'm an easy guy to deal with. And when you won't even negotiate $200 with me, but you'll pay somebody else more than me, and they haven't made you a single dollar, I don't care if Dana White wants you to hype them up and get them up. I don't care. I need to be hyped up. I'm the one bringing you money. I've brought you money. I still can't feel my leg right here from the Galveston fight. I've put my body on the line, you know, and it's just like, for you to not even be open to negotiate a couple $100 with me, but you're willing to offer somebody who hasn't made you a single dollar, that's just not, you know, that was my final straw. There's been other things, you know. I had to send messages and apologize just to stay in the Aswell fight. Nobody even knows about that. And I don't think I should ever have to apologize to somebody for something I post on my story to stay in a fist fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's, unless I straight up, like, you know, said something crazy in my story, you know, but I legitimately had to kiss ass to stay in the Aswell fight. And I'm first off, I'm not that type, but secondly, I literally did it so that you would get that Aswell fight. And nobody knows that. I got the messages, though. I could literally show you, you know, but those are other things that have started. But that final straw was that. I was like, man, that's a slap in my face, you know. I've talked to other fighters about it, other people. I've told them about it to get their opinions, because I want to hear what your opinion is about it. If I'm wrong, tell me. But everybody I've told that situation, I told a guy yesterday who's in the UFC, and he literally, when I told him the number, he turned and he was just, he couldn't even believe it, you know. And I was like, bro, they were offering that girl that much money, and she hasn't brought them $1, and I'm not even getting that. Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah, and you know what I've seen is each fighter, when it comes to promoting themselves, ticket sales, you have to see yourself as a business, you know, because you train, you fight, you know, all the time, but it is an individual business, so you got to make those moves that are going to benefit you in the long run or in the short term.
And the way I look at it, y'all are doing what's best for you. I'm going to do what's best for me. That's the way I'm looking at it, because I don't care about putting anything out there. I won't go too personal, because I could say other things, but Eric unadded me on Facebook, unfollowed me on Instagram, did all that. And this is a guy I know outside of the fight thing. I've known this guy for 14 years. I've known him since I was a kid. You know, been dealing with him for years. We're friends outside, or thought we were friends outside of the fighting. And the second that Elevate posted the picture of me like that, I get unadded, unfollowed, like a bridge is burned. I'm like, I know I made the right decision, because I know if you cared about me at all, you just want to see me succeed. You'd want to see me do good. Even if you don't agree exactly with what I'm doing or what promotion I'm going to, it's not that deep, especially if y'all are you know, doing your you know what I mean?
You don't post that much on social media, but you do. I could tell, like, if there's something that you feel really strongly about, you're supporting a teammate, you may post some training footage. I know you're training all the time. If someone sees it or not.
I want to post more. I really do. I talked to Hayden and the team about that.
So Hayden posts everything. Hayden's in Vegas. I know he's there. Yeah. His girlfriend posts a selfie. Yeah. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
So we need to get with that.
But me and him both talk about it. Like we want to, because we don't feel right all the time trying to video training because we're not that con. We're real fighters. Like we really do this. And it just feels weird to try to be like, hey, let's video this and let's do that. We're just not used to that, you know, but that's really the marketing game. That's the promotional side of it, Yeah. And I do want to do more, like posting more training and stuff like that, but I'll get it together as I'm going.
Dude, did you get an invite? Cause I didn't from Hayden and Ivan to go to the Sphere.
I did. At
least you got the invite.
I did get an invite. I just had to work,
Yeah. Dude,
I wanted to go. I've actually never been to UFC. 15 years in this, I've never been to UFC. The way I'm looking at it now, like I don't even want to go. I want my first UFC to be my UFC. You know what I mean? Like my debut. That's what I want to do.
Have you seen some of the interviews where they talk to the fighters? Because from what I understand, I'm sure in some instances it's different, but you go in there to fight, and then they make you do a post fight presser after your fight's done.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, now you have to leave.
Yeah.
They make him leave.
Yeah. Did you see Johnny Walker? Did you see the video of him when the UFC, they kicked him out like right after the fight? Oh my God, you got to go see that. His coach, Connor's coach, John Kavanaugh, that's where he trains. He posted a video on his Instagram, and it's Johnny, and they're standing in the street in Vegas. He's got no shoes on. He's got his fight shorts and his gloves on still. And I guess the people in the back, like were telling him like, hey, your fight's over. You got to go. And they walked outside, and bro, he still was in his full fight. Like it was, you got to go watch it. It's funny as hell.
Yeah. They should have I don't know if there's a fix for that, but I feel like there should be. Like if you fought on the card, you played in the game, you are the ticket, people paid to see you.
You should be able to have somewhere you can chill or go to for the event at least. I think they do that, but I don't know. I'm
not sure either.
I don't know.
But that looked like it was awesome. I was watching Hayden and Ivan's stories.
Yeah, and they got to go watch Marab actually that morning do his morning workout.
Oh, they went to Syndicate?
Yeah, they went and trained over there, and they got to watch him like do his shakeout, and then they watched him fight that night. And I was like, that's just really good for them to see. You know what I mean? Good experience for them to see.
And I know you said you're still young. You're young in the game, but you've been training for a long time.
Yeah.
But there are these guys and girls that train over, with you and under you and all that are coming up. How has that been? I guess probably transitioning in some ways to more of that. You're a fighter, but the coaching role and just being that example.
Yeah, I've always been kind of like the guy in the gym to help people out and do all that, but now as I've gotten older and I'm just really educated on the fighting, whether it be up or down, so I like it, but I'm just one of those type. I'm not going to invest my time into you or truly trying to help you if you're not trying to help yourself. I don't like people showing up late. I don't like you not just actually investing in the game. That's why I'm just, I brag about Hayden and stuff a lot because I just watched his whole process, and we just formed him and watched him go from just a regular anybody to literally the number one in the country, as an amateur, and now he's going pro, which is crazy. You know what I mean? And I really like that side of it now, like because this is the first guy I've actually invested that
into, start to finish, start to not finish,
start
to
now.
Yeah.
I've invested a lot of time, and you got to remember, it's on them too. Like I can invest my time, but they've got to also invest theirs, and that's what makes me want to invest my time into somebody when I see that they want to eat right, they want to train hard, they listen, they learn, that makes me want to be involved with you on a real just invested in you side, and he's actually the only person I've had this experience with so far, and I really like it. So, and you know, one of my end goals is to have a gym or something. You know, I'm a black belt. I could have my own school or something. You know, but I'm more focused on the competing part right now. You know, but I think one day it'll be fun, and it'll be work too. You know, but I think that'll be a cool side of it. You know, building guys.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's probably important, even the business side of marketing yourself. And as a fighter, there's so much goes into it. Even, you know, for us as Clear Life, like we can go do all these things, but then it's like, we want to be in business next year and the year after that, and 5 years, 10, you know, what does that look like? And so it's a lot of learning, you know, for us. And I'm able to have a team, but I know you got a team around you and coaches and influences and stuff as well to kind of help, you know, build and mold that. Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah. And just going, you know, having a good circle, you know, with all that, you know what I mean? Like us being at war, and we just have good people around us, you know what I mean? To fill any kind of holes that we need in our game, you know what I mean? And we're one of those people we'll train with anybody, you know what I mean? Just trying to expand, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that works.
Well, you have some teammates. I think they're fighting this weekend for Fury.
More. Kyle. Alex is fighting for XKO, and then Bruce. Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah. Did you see that interview, or at least the clip the UFC Fight Pass posted with Kyle?
Yeah.
that was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, he's funny.
I don't know why he couldn't do that with me. Why couldn't he do that with me?
Yeah.
Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, he's funny, man. His mom's literally like so smart. So it's just funny thinking about him, you know, Mom.
Yeah, I was like, she's super nice, like the sweetest lady. And like.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah, I've known you for a while. I've known of Kyle for a while, but I was sharing this earlier, but my first experience with MMA, you were there. This was like in 2018. It was on the way to a Fury event. Jose Solis was fighting, which I still have 2 of his fight shirts. I need to wear one on here. One day I saw he liked, I think it posted that you were going to be on, and he hit the like on there. I'm like, man, that's cool. I need to rock my shirt. I still
got 2, because his nickname was
Chore.
Yeah. I got
a green one, maybe a red one or something like that.
Yeah, I got his gray one and his red one.
Yeah. So, but that was the
That's
first
cool,
fight.
Though. I never knew that. I didn't know that was your first time. I really didn't.
Right. So I have a friend. I haven't talked to him in a bit, but his name is Vince. So he's from Dickinson, and he said, hey, I got this guy. I'm helping, doing some workouts, some training. Vince was doing training, and he's going to be making a fight. Would y'all be down to do an interview with KHEA Radio? I said, sure. At that point, me and Kurt, we were knocking out maybe 3 to 4 interviews a day for about 2.5 hours every morning, every day. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And so he came in, we talked about it. Man, this is cool. Okay, hey, would y'all want to come to the fight? I was like, I've never been to a fight before. Sure, yeah, why not? Let's go. It's an Humble. So we go out to Lamarck,
that was the Humble days.
Texas Striking Academy, and we go out there. And you were there. Jeremy was there, and that was it. Yeah, we were down there.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought y'all had already had experience.
No, that was it.
With something.
We have that footage. Actually, we never released it, but we have footage because we filmed there, and we filmed at the fight. I filmed cage side. I can't even remember what I filmed with because at that point, I don't remember what kind of camera I was using. I don't remember. It was must have been 2018. And so after that, that's honestly set us on the path to be able to do what we do, stream a fight, show up to a fight, interview a fighter, Clear Life Combat, like in general, like, because before that we had almost experience. There was another fighter. His name's Dominic Perez. He has a gym, out there in in like the Alvinish area, and then he will train with Drew at ACS, as well. And so we had interviewed him, I think second, but it was Jose Solis, and that kind of helped set us on that path. And for me, like after I was at that first Fury event, being in the venue and feeling that energy, I was like, wow, this is cool.
It's different, huh?
Yeah, this is cool. What was that experience, I guess, for you? That even set you on that path to start from a young age? Was it just like getting in a training room, or how did that start?
Mine was just really, I was just a bad kid. That was my thing. I wasn't a bad kid, like, as in, like, like being rude and doing all that, like disrespect. I was just like, I was backyard boxing, and I ran around with some kids older than me, and did a couple dumb things, but, I remember I trained with Forrest Griffin. My granny, took me to a UFC expo, and it was in 2012, maybe 2011, 2012. And I just remember after that, I was already invested, but after that little experience I had with them, I just remember like just locking in, you know what I mean? Just locking into it. And then I had a New Year's Eve fight. I had a New Year's Eve fight. I was 14 and I fought a 17 or 18-year-old. And we did the first round boxing, second round kickboxing, and the third round MMA. and I did really good, really good. I ended up finishing him in the third round, but I was beating him up in the first and second rounds too. But I just remember after that, that's when I fully, I never looked back. And this was in Galveston, in a kind of small room filled with people. Though it was filled with people. People were literally close enough, grabbing the cage, But that's what kind of really set me off. My own little experience.
Yeah.
And then going to fights is always, like you said, the energy. It's always cool.
Is there any footage of any of the
Oh yeah. I got the like if you look up Josh Altum cage fight, it's like one of 4. There's like 4 videos, like little clips of it, and it's on there. It's on YouTube.
I think it's so important to capture those.
Yeah, and you don't realize that until time goes, and and you look back and you're like, man, like I'm glad I got. There's plenty of other things I don't have on video, that I wish I did. I think a lot of people realize that over time.
Yeah. And that's one thing we talk about when we talk to some of these promotions or events. It's like you can have I think capturing it's better than not capturing it, because some of these promotions, they don't even have video at all, and it's like, oh, it's not important because they want to. And I get it. To rent out a venue, it costs a lot of money. Then you're working with the state, the commission, paying everybody, but then you're thinking about like, oh, I need to capture this video as well. But it's if you mark it up to marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing. It's going to help us grow. It literally pays for itself, but also the fighters too, for them to have 10, 20, 30 forever from now. That there's that stuff, or even the promoter as well. Maybe you sell the promotion, or the promotion runs its course. And it's like, hey, I have this, and it's a good thing.
Well, man, and that's why I really like what y'all do.
Oh, thank you.
I really do, because I feel like the energy I get from y'all, I just get like a good, like y'all are truly in it for the right thing. Like y'all actually care about the fighting side. Y'all care about the fighters. Y'all care about the daily training. You train, you know what I mean? So you get a side of how it is, and I think there's, especially now with how big MMA has grown, there's a lot of people in it just to be in it, and I just think it's good to recognize when people are in it for the right reasons. You know? We were just talking about you help people out with what you do already, you know what I mean? I want to get more of the guys that work with Clear Life, because sometimes it's funny, like we walk in and I never think about this, but there's like 8 people here. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? How did we grow into this? which is really cool and funny. But I still remember you talking about getting us going. That's what I'm saying. We're in here. I'm like, man, yeah,
it's a real play. It is a real play.
Y'all really got it going on. Y'all just got to keep going, and y'all are gonna be big. Y'all are already big, but y'all are gonna be.
Thanks. Yeah.
Y'all are gonna be real big. I really think that.
I think it'd be cool to have you and Joel, even to do like, I would call it like a team building thing for like the guys here. Cause a lot of them, we have them out there filming jiu-jitsu matches, boxing matches, MMA. They're up on the cage. They've never broken a sweat whenever it comes to training.
Yeah.
And even like, hey, just go jog and do some shadow boxing, hit some. I think that'd be a really cool thing. Maybe like once every 6 weeks, maybe once a month, like, because we have space. We're gonna get mats. There's things we're gonna do,
especially when you got the mats.
Yeah, there's AC. We turn it down in here. You could do it's not like to have that, to be like, okay, and almost use it as a training session. If you were filming, if you're on the mat, if you're in a cage, like, and you have that experience, then you may be able to film and capture it better if
You'll kind of understand, like,
100%.
They're in this position. They could end up rolling this way, you know. And I get that.
I like it.
That's real detailed, but I get that. That's looking at it from all angles. Yeah.
So I need to talk to you more about that at some point.
Yeah.
You get Joel down here too.
Yeah. Run a little boot camp.
Yeah. Not too crazy, these guys. You
they're
call
gonna
it
be,
that.
They're going to be, their arms are going to be hurting. Yeah.
You call it boot camp, but probably none of them are showing up. It's like, it's team building.
Yeah,
like, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. So,
that's fun.
Man, that's good. Hey, I'm not sure. Have they matched an opponent with you yet?
Mm-hmm. I'm fighting another Josh.
Oh, yeah?
That's what's funny. Yeah. I'm fighting this guy named Josh Augustine. He's from Syndicate or Extreme Couture.
Okay.
One of the two. I think he trains at both, honestly, but I know he's from up there.
So they're bringing him down here?
Yeah. I'm grateful about that. I'll fight Houston guys, but it's just we're so local. So when I fight, with the Aswa thing, it's just all that now. All the little beef happened and all that. It's just not.
I appreciate it too, because I like Michael Aswell and I root for him. And I've known you for years.
And I don't dislike him.
Yeah.
The thing behind that was the people around him. You know what I mean? Won't shut their. They're talking about things and honestly, what's crazy is the people who are talking. I thought that they knew what they're talking. They've got experience fighting, but I don't know. I don't even want to get into it, but it's just. Yeah, I'm cool with him.
So Josh Augustine, you said that's his name?
Josh Augustine, yeah. And I'm going to 55. I'm
going to 155. What played into that?
So I'm walking around. What's that? A train?
Yeah, it's a train.
I'm walking around now, and I've been walking around heavier. I'm 27 now, so I know that my muscle density has got higher. My bones have probably, I'm just at that age where you're turning into that full grown man kind of thing, and I've been walking around in the 70s, and I know there's plenty of 45ers that are walking around in the 70s, but I'm walking around in the 70s, and I got a full six pack. I got obliques. I got veins. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm walking around fat, or chubby, like a lot of these guys get, So I just think that going to 55, I just think I'm going to be a completely different person in there. I just know how I am in the gym, and ask anybody I train with. I'm fast. I'm explosive. I can hit hard. I can kick hard. I can grapple. I mean, that. But I just feel like at 45, there's been shots that I've hit people with that should have put them down. And I think, and I have the weight cut down to a science. I really do. I've got my weight cut down, but it's not about that. It's still a weight cut, and you're draining yourself, And me at 45, I'm just literally muscle and bones, and I just don't think that I've been cutting weight, since I was 15 now, and I just think going to 55, I know I'll be fighting some bigger guys, but I've been lifting weights religiously, and I think any guys that are that much bigger than me going up to this weight class, they're gonna have a hard weight cut. I'm gonna have a nice, healthy weight cut. You know what I mean? So if you got a good first round in you with me, strength wise, that's fine. But that second and third round is gonna be, it's gonna be bad because I'm gonna be picking up. My pace will only pick up. I've shown that in the fights. The Galveston fight was a perfect example. As the fight went on, I only did better. And that was a guy who fights at 55. So I just think it's gonna be a really good move. Long term, because eventually I'm gonna have to probably go to 55 as I get older, so why not build into it right now,
After that Galveston fight, did you talk to your opponent? Have y'all talked?
Yeah, man. It's weird, like, when we've talked about training together too. We just haven't. I had an injury and stuff, so I didn't get to go down there, and then he had an injury too. But yeah, we're cool. We're cool. I think going through that little experience, we both grew in that, and I definitely grew in that. I think he's had. I really don't know, but he's such a vet. I'm sure he's had some fights where they were, really getting at it. But that was really my first one like that. All my fights haven't really been, I'm either taking you out or whatever, So I grew a lot in that fight, and I think that when you have that experience with somebody, you're unless y'all got beef, you're always gonna be cool.
Yeah. That was that was Fury's fight of the year. They named it the fight of the year. Yeah. I remember watching it like as soon as it was over, and I was like, that's the best fight I've seen all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a fight where you're just slugging. It was a very technical fight. That's why I told people, I'm like, it was the fight of the year, but I'm like, man, if you go back and watch the tape, and I'm not trying to like hype myself up, but if you go watch it, it was really like high level. Like I'm in there slipping things, I'm hitting elbows, I'm getting my head off the line, slipping stuff. He hit me a couple times that I remember that it was a decent shot, but a lot of it was just a lot of like, you have to really watch what you're looking at. You know what I mean? To really understand what's going on in there. It's not one of those slobber knockers, that you're just, everyone's going wide with their punches,
Yeah. And that's that fight that was in Galveston. It was just packed out with people that mainly came to see you.
Yeah. It was I posted a video to my Instagram, but I watched the Shakur Stevenson fight, and it was crazy. He had a sold out arena. And this is a guy with millions of followers on Instagram, all his platforms, and I'm telling you, it was crickets in there. It really was. There was people taking videos because people were just walking out. It was like the 7th or 8th round, and people were just walking out. And this is a guy who's literally got millions. And you go watch my fight, and there's literally you can hear it through the thing. Oh, it's a super glue, and I'm like, bro, that's what I know what I bring to the table. I know that. Especially when I get to that top level, I know I'm gonna be bringing big shows, entertain. What fight have I had that isn't exciting? You know, I get in there and get after it. I'm not a guy that's gonna sit back and I'm guaranteed good money on a fight.
What are you thinking game plan wise, or anything that you're willing to share whenever you do make that Elevate debut?
I'm really my game. And one thing I appreciate about Elevate, so I've always been the fighter. I've never picked an opponent ever, because that's what all these fighters do. They got a management. I was finna start going in on some, but I'm not going to. But they got managements who set them up with a bunch of fights. People pick fights, they decline fights. Trust me, I know all about it, and You ask any promoter who's worked with me. That's why the fights before I was with Fury, they were out of town fights. The second they hit me up about, hey, you want to fight this guy 7-0? Hey, you want to fight Frankie Edgar's prodigy? Da-da. I immediately was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So when I came to Elevate, though, it was nice to be treated like some of the others, I guess. Like he sent me a list of opponents and was like, hey, look through these guys, see who you like. See you want to fight. And when I say I don't mean like finding a bum like everyone else does. Just looking at a list of guys that they can go get. And I looked through the list, and I literally was like, whoever wants it. I literally told them, I was like, just whoever wants it. I literally don't care. And I did look at all the guys. So I could have legitimately been like, oh, yeah, I want this guy. But that's just the kind of fighter I am. I know what I can do. I know my skills. And I just think that going into this next fight, I need to make sure that I'm just using my full game, because I can strike, I can grapple, I can wrestle. I've got cardio, I've got strength. I really do cross all the boxes. It's just the key ingredient for me has been to wrap it all up into one little box and open that box on fight night, because in that Aswell fight, I just chose to strike the whole time. The only time I grappled was when I dropped him with the elbow, and he tried to say he tripped, but Mike, we both know, he literally went belly down, dog. And I jumped on you, and but that's the only time we grappled in the fight, and that's a fight. If I would have went out there first round and grabbed the guy, I could have subbed. That's a dude I'll sub and quick, So it's just going forward. I need to make sure that I'm using my full game and not exactly having a game plan, You know what I mean? Like you want to have a game plan. I'm not saying not to have a game plan, but I just need to make sure I'm using my well-roundedness. You know what I mean? If I'm tagging them up on the feet and I'm feeling it, I need to level change. Boom, get them on a takedown. You know what I mean? Take them down, work on them a little bit, and then if we get back up, because that's one thing that they said that was surprising in the Aswell fight is that he did get up because, and I never thought about this, but most guys that touch me or grapple with me, we don't come back up. I finish them, you know, and I remember hearing that and I just thought that was cool. I was like, that is right. Like most of the time when I've grappled with anybody in my fights, it ends. Once we go to the ground, it's over, you know? So I think in this next fight, the key is just to be myself and just use my full game, you know? If the striking's feeling good, go ahead, but don't be afraid to mix your game up, you know, shoot a double, put them down, you know, and that tires people out. Merab O'Malley just this weekend, that is exactly how he beat O'Malley wrestling. You know, he just mixed his game up, got some shots in there, and when you get those shots, it slows down the striking. Then you can strike with the striker. You know, it's just about IQ in there. You know,
I saw you posted this to your story, but when Michael Aswell was on Contender Series and they showed some of those highlights, and it was funny. I was like, I know I hearted it just on the story because I was like, I mean, what did you think when you saw that stuff and you were like, man, what's going on?
I was just laughing about it. Literally, I was laughing about it because it was just funny to see on there. And they put the part where I sit down on there, and you know, they put the part where I'm shaking my head at the ref. I'm like, man, y'all didn't have to do. Well,
the thing with video, and I realize this, and I understand because sometimes people are like, oh, the media can do this, but you literally can make. And I'm not going to, but I could go back and make this video that we're in right now. I can make you say almost whatever you wanted 100%. to point it one way or the other. And I understand why people get upset in interviews or video. You can tell that's the whole point, is to tell a story. But when I go, I don't really cut these.
If you don't know how that fight was going and how it went,
that's what it looks
like. You think that I got dropped, and then I tell the ref, no, I don't want. You know. I just laughed about it though. I'm not dwelling on it. You know, it's one of them things. You know, you just gotta laugh about.
I know, and that's what I like too. I was like, man, I like that you posted that, and that you were laughing at it and just kind of funny. Man, they got me messed up, you know, or whatever.
And you know what was funny? Because I went and watched it at my coach's house, and I didn't even think about that they were gonna. You know, I didn't even think about it. You know, I really didn't. And then they show a highlight, and I'm like, oh man. But that's the game I'm in, you know what I mean? And, you know, once the funny thing, I said it in the video too. I'm like, watch, when I get my contender spot, they're going to show me hitting him. And you know, it's just, that's the game.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, so that fight's coming up, Elevate. What's that date again? Is it the
November 10th.
November 10th.
Yeah, November 10th. It's on a Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, you got a full camp. Are you pretty healthy right now?
Or? Oh yeah. I've been really healthy. I had an injury a couple months ago, but I got through that, and I used that time when I was injured to lift. Mm-hmm. I'm a little skinny today. I've been training a bunch, but I've been really I've put on some size though, and I think you're gonna see it on November. Like I really feel like people are gonna look at me under the lights, and they're gonna be like, oh shit, like he ain't lying. Like he's a stacked 55er, you know. I might not be as big. This guy I'm fighting, I think he's 6'1" or 6'2". I've already fought 3 guys 6'1", so I'm not worried about it. But I know he'll be thicker than me. He might be a little stronger than me, you know. Stronger than me on weights, you know. We'll see how he feels when we wrap up. You know, I'm really strong there. You know, he might be able to, you know, squat more than me or something. You know, but we'll see how the
I saw a thing today. John Danaher put it out where he was talking about strength and perceived strength, and that's what he was talking about. The perceived strength being leverage plus what you're actually able to move, and that's just a different thing. I remember one of the first times I grappled, and it was actually with Andre, which you know, Andre Kimball, right?
Oh boy.
I was maybe my second day ever, and it's in the gi, and he was on top of me, just like in side control, nothing crazy. And I was in my head, I'm like, oh my God. And he's not a big guy. He's pretty slim right now. He looks good, but he's like, I was like, how much do you weigh? That's literally like a muscle. Like, how much do you weigh?
Felt like
yeah. It could have been. It's the weight of the world that was on top of me.
Yes.
And I think even in that moment, I was just like, bro, I'm not getting out of this. I'm just like tapping because I'm like, dude, I don't know, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
But that perceived strength of, yeah, he's strong, but it's leverage, positions.
You're right. You're right. And see, the way that I look at this, like in that instance, for example, is he was using his weight in a good position, and then I really think this because if you look at some of them wrestlers who literally like they got skinny arms, they ain't got a big chest, they got a decent back, but they're not like you look at them, you wouldn't think they're strong at all, but when them guys grab you, it's a different thing. And I really feel like it's like the tendons, when you wrestle for so long, when you grapple for so long, your tendons get really, really strong, And I feel like that's got a lot to do with it too, whenever you wrap up your grip strength, you know what I mean? When you wrap up with somebody. Because I've seen plenty of guys who will go in there and kill you on the weights, but then you put them in a training room and it's right. Completely different, you know what I mean? Yeah. I've outmuscled plenty of guys that got arms way bigger than mine, but it's two different things, It can translate. I'm not saying that it won't, but it's two different things.
Yeah. You'll see Gordon Ryan with some of those like strong men, like competitions. They're just massive human beings. But then, Gordon, in a grappling situation.
Oh God, I know being under Gordon's got to suck.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's like you get up when he's ready for you to get up.
Yeah. I bet I bet his top pressure is like, it's got to be insane. Cause when you watch him break these legends down, Andre, Felipe, Yuri, when you watch him break them guys down and he's like, they're not even moving
Yuri
fast.
Couldn't do anything.
They're not even moving fast. That's what's crazy to me. It's like they can't even scramble. Like they're legitimately like under a boat. You know what I mean? Like I know that. And obviously, he's on whatever he's on, but he's using it to the fullest extent,
He's probably on daily greens at least.
Yeah. He's definitely on the daily greens. Yeah.
What did you think about the UFC's over there at the Sphere as far as like the two title fights?
I thought they were good. So I literally was just talking because I just trained and we were just talking about that. And Valentina, we'll start there. People were giving her a hard time about her fight, and I get that. But what people don't understand is Valentina has given us so many knockouts and so many just nasty performances, her grappling too. I've seen her throw girls on their head and then sub them or ground up. That one girl, she landed like 250 strikes. I can't remember the girl's name, but it was bad. There was blood everywhere. Like, I'm like, a girl like that, bro, she needed to get her belt back. She did what she needed to do to get her belt back. I get that she wasn't going out there and taking all the risks that you want to see her take, but you got to remember, man, that's a modern day real female gladiator, like, right. Who's, like I said, bro, when she knocked out I can't remember her name, but when she knocked out that girl with that head kick in the first round, I can't remember her name, but it was, oh my God, that's one of the nastiest knockouts I've ever seen. And to give her a hard time for her following a game plan to win our title back is just, it's very casual to me. It's right. Just very casual, because I'm not going to blame her at all. She wanted her belt back, and that's what she did.
She got it.
It was Alexa should have got up. That's how you got to look at it.
I like listening to her talk after, and then she'll speak in whatever language, in Spanish,
she
English.
Speaks like 8 languages or something too.
Yeah, saying some good stuff, and it's like I feel like you can't hate on her. I was like, just personality wise, like seems like such a humble, good person. And I've never met her, I don't know, but just like watching her, I'm like, man, she's a great performer, fighter, warrior, like you said, and then also like a real human being that is out there and saying like, hey guys, reasoning and pleading and connecting with the crowd. I like it.
No, I just think people need to, but you'll never be able to control how people react to the casual thing. But Merab's on the Merab fight, man, he just played that perfect. To beat O'Malley, that's the way to beat O'Malley, mixing that wrestling. I mean, Peter Yan already kind of showed that. I don't know if you watched that fight, but the O'Malley-Peter Yan fight, Peter Yan kind of already showed the game plan to to beat O'Malley, you know. And I think Merab just he showed the perfect way to beat him, you know what I mean? Just mixing up the level changes, you know.
Right.
And it's hard to deal with anybody. That's why I was just talking about in my fight, like you mixing your game up, you know. It's mixed martial arts, you know. And I think that we're in an era that everyone wants to be entertaining. Everybody wants knockouts. And I get that. I want them too. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, your goal should be to win. And you want to win in exciting fashion, but you got to make sure that you're doing what you need to do without risking too much, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if Merab saw the clip of Jay Aldrete kissing his opponent, and then that's why he decided to kiss Sugar Sean O'Malley. Have you seen both of those?
No, he might have.
That might be the matchup, because I was like, this looks mighty familiar.
Yeah.
This looks mighty familiar.
Man, Jay is such a dog.
Yeah, dude, 17 years old.
Dude, so I don't know if they're like best friends. I feel like they're best friends, but Jay and Houston, you know Houston?
I haven't met him. Apparently he lives down.
No, he does. He lives in
Galveston.
Galveston. Yeah, he lives in Galveston. I just trained with him. I didn't train. I ran him and Hayden through a session.
Okay.
I had to go lift, so I ran their session and then I went and lifted. But me and Joel. But both of those kids, man, they're the future. Like I have no doubt. Like I literally have no doubt. And that they'll be at the top.
Yeah, me and Jay, because I brought him in here, which I've been wanting to do something with Jay, because every time, and I told him, I was like, dude, I go to a gym, I just show up to a random gym, maybe I'm filming for Elevator or whatever, Jay's there. I didn't even know you trained here. Like, what do you do? Don't you have school? Over. Like, bro, he's like, no. He's
I think he dropped out.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he has a plan and some other stuff, but like he's dedicated that time to learning and perfecting his craft at 17 years old. But we talked a bit about Houston. He was like, dude, he lives right now. I was like, dude, yeah, bring him in here. Both of y'all come back.
Yeah.
I love being able to do that for everybody. You know, like,
well, bro,
I love
that's
it.
why I literally just told you. I was like, I really do like what y'all do. And I would tell you if I didn't like you. And I like what y'all do because I feel the energy and I've seen your progression too. You know, we've talked about your business stuff in the past, and I've seen what you've done and what you're doing and where you're at, you know, now. And it's I can just tell you're in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and
thank you. Yeah, Jay. But like, just to see, it's like, dude, because even like kids matches, like I love filming kids matches. I mean, maybe they stick with training, maybe not, but either way, that's something that will be there.
They're going to be 30
forever.
And they're going to be able to well,
yeah, it's going to be there forever. And I remember, and I talked about this with Jay, but it was a fight to win, and a fight to win, like 177. This would have been, this is before COVID, I think, and that was the last time Fight to Win came to Houston, but he was there, just a kid, like, hey, what do you got that camera for? Literally. And he's in a clip in a video that we put up, and he was like, just a quick transition.
Oh,
but
it was Jay?
Yeah, it was Jay. And that's the first time I met him. And he was like, oh, yeah, we're like, dude, follow us on social media or whatever. And he did. And then next time I saw him was at a tournament. It was like maybe the second jiu-jitsu tournament I did. I was like, dude, what's up? And then he saw I had a Clear Life Combat rash guard on. He was like, oh, hey, and then I see him at the gym. Like I was going filming Sebastian out of 4 ounce at Atzlan boxing gym, and he's there. And then I go film it somewhere at 4 ounce. He's there. Go film, and next, you know, we got some stuff at Next Level. He's there. It's like, bro.
Yeah, he's
good for you, dude.
Yeah, he goes all over. He's fully in it. He's in it to win it, really.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, because I was training and fighting at that age, you know, but I mean, I was good. You know, but they're just, you know, the game's evolved so much. The game was different when I was 17. You know what I mean? It wasn't. We weren't thinking the same. These kids are switching stances. They're right. Moving their head. They're boxing. They're kickboxing. They're just doing the full game. You know, when I was 17, it was still a striker versus wrestler versus striker, jiu-jitsu guy versus you know, it was still a lot of one-dimensional things going on. And now, if you're one-dimensional, chances are you're not gonna. You know, you better be great at that one dimension if you want success, you know.
I think it's the resources in the world getting smaller with social media, and then his dad's a jiu-jitsu black belt, you know.
Yeah. Tommy's a good dude too.
You know, having a gym and him just doing it. So yeah, it's been cool. Congrats to him winning that fight, putting on a show for the world, really.
I gotta say this though, Jay, that was stupid live, but I was the first one to slap somebody a few times. Casey Jones, I slapped him 4 times, but I didn't kiss him. So I didn't kiss him. So Marab's got to give you that credit, but but I gotta get my credit where it's due.
Yeah, he did that. He did an open hand.
Nah, that was nasty. And you know, scary thing about him, I think, is he has fun in there.
He does.
He really does. He actually has fun in there. Like, I think it was the second round, or one of the rounds. The referee grabs him. He was on top, and as the referee was separating them, you know, the end of the round, Jay gets up and he just in the fight. They still got a few rounds, you know, and he just gets up and he just enjoys it, you know, and that's a dangerous dude, you know. I think both of them kids, man. I think because they literally are kids. They're you know, young men, but they're literally kids, you know. And it's crazy the level that they're at. And I think if they stay with it, man, they're undeniable. Mm-hmm. They're undeniable, both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I want to know where. Just to be able to see 2 years, you know, in the future, get a glimpse. And I feel like in part maybe Jay has that vision or that dream, and it's in his head, just to see in his head, like, and then be able to see it come to pass and what's going to happen. So,
yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Cool. Awesome. Man, your fight's coming up. Who are some other people that you've been training with that we need to be on the lookout for?
I mean, honestly, everybody, and I'm not just saying this, everybody at War, everybody there is you know, real fighters. Every time I go up there, you know, it's hard sessions, it's hard rounds. So anybody coming out of War is always somebody to watch and keep an eye on. But honestly, and I'm not just saying that, man. It's just I feel like we do the right things. We're you know, in training. You know, we're doing the real things, and I think that translates. You know, there's a lot of people that are still doing a lot of like unintentional training. You know, like just rolling, just sparring, just, you know, and it's like we break it down. You know, just the session I just came from, we literally just spent an hour just drilling a certain movements off the cage, turning people, using your underhook with your overhook. We went over this throw, you know, we break the game down, and I think that you see it fight night, it translates. And Hayden has been my prime example, because I've literally been able to be like, okay, look, do it like this in the gym, drill this, do that, and then we go fight night, and it just translates so well, you know. And I just think that's the way to do it. Be really specific with your training, you know, and that's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, we've talked about a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we anything we haven't touched on that comes to mind?
What you think about the election?
You know, I talked about this and religion the other day with Doug McFarland. So he's.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Doug McFarland. So he's fought for Elevate.
Okay.
He's their 185 amateur champion, but he's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's. I mean, 6'3". He's a big, long
black dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just seen him on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
He fought Nyan Beck. Okay. And Nyan is a good guy too. You know, filming with him. There. You know, there's so many gyms on the north side over there, that are great. You know, great gyms,
North
great
Houston?
coaches. Yeah, North Houston, bro. It's like. And I feel on our side of town, you know, Galveston County, that there are good gyms. There's great people. But, like, there's War. There's, you know, House of Dragons. You got Four Ounce.
Yeah,
you got all these gyms. Everybody's up.
Yeah,
it's on the north side.
No, for sure. That's the only thing that I wish. That's the only thing that sucks about living down here is because, you know, I got to drive all the way up there to go get my rounds, you know.
An hour at least, depending on what time it is.
Oh, I was
at least.
Yeah. Each time I went to War the past couple of weeks, it's been about an hour and 35, hour 40 to get there, just with traffic, you know.
Right.
If it's not traffic, I can get there if I'm speeding, I can get there about an hour. But if I'm going about speeding, I'll get there hour 15, hour 20.
Yeah, man, the election, there is again, going back to media, and it's funny, just like with these people with these interviews, and they're asking these pointed and painted questions. And I've talked to a lot of people locally, like in the media, like newspapers and reporters, and they, you know, pride themselves on not being biased. But in my opinion, it's like, well, first of all, it's impossible to not be biased because you have your own upbringing, just everything in your beliefs. And I've talked to some people who are like, well, I don't vote, so that way I am unbiased. And I'm like, bro, that's dumb in my opinion, because I vote on what I believe in. But even when I talk to you or talk to anybody, I always just like, hey, tell your story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And go from there, because that's what the platform's all about. But like the election, it's kind of crazy the times that we're living in. What I'm tired of, and I talked to my wife about this, is the cost of everything just going through the roof. I have 4 kids, which I don't know if you know that. I got 4 kids, bro.
Damn, I didn't know that, bro.
I got 4 kids.
I didn't know that.
And like,
I knew you had kids. But
I got kids.
4.
11. My oldest is about to be 12, and
Damn.
then my youngest is she's turning 2 next week.
Damn.
In a week. And so I was like, man,
how old are you?
I'm 38.
Bro.
I'm 38 years old. Yeah.
You look good for 38.
Thank
for
you.
real. I mean, you're not old, but
Yeah,
I'm just
I know.
saying. I thought you were like 32, 33.
Yeah. And so, yeah. But the price of everything, I was like, man, it wasn't like this even a couple years ago. We had, 3 kids, and now you got at another kid.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You see it in the price of like housing, rent, and everything. It's like, whatever it is, something has to change.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like most people would probably agree, but just getting them to vote on it whenever it's just like, you have A and B, it's like more of the same and more of the same. It's like, what are we supposed to do? We just want to live, be able to put, gas in the car, buy groceries, and have some, somewhere to sleep at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's it. That's what most people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's so staged. Like it's just so like, it's so practiced. Like when they're doing the debates and when they're doing,
answering questions.
I'm more on the side of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too into it, but like, I just think that, I don't know, some of the things that I hear her say, that it just sounds like she sat somewhere and like practiced and went over lines and, Well,
because you hear people. Well, first of all, I feel like Trump doesn't practice anything. When he gets up there, he's just talking.
He talks. And I respect that.
Right.
I respect that.
And he's saying stuff, and like sometimes I'll tell people, if I haven't interviewed them before, it's like, if I ask you something and you're not comfortable, by no means feel obligated to answer anything I say. If you don't know the answer, you don't want to talk about that, be like, hey, that's good, let me get back to you. Or like, I'm not sure, I don't have that right now. That's fine. I'm not pushing anything, because that's not the kind of person I am.
You're just asking questions.
Yeah, we're having a conversation. Yeah. And so in those situations, it's just funny, like seeing that the person interviewing, it's like they're trying to get something. But I respect somebody that says, I don't have the full plan. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because that's being honest, rather than if you ask somebody and they say they don't answer the question at all.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with Kamala Harris, where they ask her something, like, hey, what are 2 things that we can do right now to reduce the cost? And I'm like, hey, this is going to be good, because this is something that I want to know that could influence me in one way or the other. Yeah. This is exactly what I'm concerned about. And she's like, well, let me start by saying this. I grew up middle class.
Yeah.
My mom did this. My mom raised this and that. I'm like, but you don't answer the question. It's like, well, if there is there no relief in sight?
Yeah,
That's like, if there isn't, just be honest with us and let us know, so that way we can prepare, and just be like, okay, well, I guess we're all just screwed, it's the reality. But
and I feel like I in the past never paid too much attention to politics.
Yeah.
I stay in the loop, but I'm not like too invested. Only reason I've been invested in this is because the status that our country's been in, like I'm just worried, about like 10, and I would be worried if you have kids, like that's not the reason, but like that's another reason I'm okay with not having kids yet, because I don't know what the future looks like exactly, and I've seen them point out like all the things that Kamala has went back on, like she used to support this, now she doesn't, or she used to not support that, now she supports this. Yeah. And I'm like, I know she's saying that just to get the majority,
And like most people, I feel like it's okay to change your mind, but at least be honest about it.
Yeah, have an explanation behind it. Say it up front. She's just, I remember I watched her interviews, and she said, my my morals or something haven't changed. She said something like that. My thing hasn't, my thoughts on that hasn't changed or whatever. And I'm like, but it did though. It did, you did.
They pull into it. It's like, and it'd be weird if it didn't change. And I feel like it's okay to change. That means you're growing as a person. We all, changing as a fighter, evolving
for sure.
As a business, like that's natural. It's okay, but to anybody to gaslight us and be like, no, I haven't changed. And it's like, bro, there's the internet was around 4 years ago and less whenever that happened. And there's clips. And then, maybe the majority of people don't care. Maybe I think more people are starting to care. The internet, is only getting bigger and the world's getting smaller. And
for sure.
I think most people want the same thing. And we would all agree. Yeah, I want my friends, my family, people that I drive down the street, I want them to be able to live and have a good life. And, with Clear Life being a business, and it's like, sometimes you hear these things like, well, we need to tax the businesses. And I'm like, bro, I'm being taxed. No. And then they're talking about like raising some of these rates. And I'm like, I don't know who is this affecting? What is your plan? Because like, we're just trying as a small business to do good things. And it's like, dude, already as it is, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Because, times are good. But also growth is scary because I'm like, man, if we make more money, we just pay more taxes. And then it's not like.
And the way I feel about that, the tax thing, because they're trying to tax people who make money, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, who are making more money than the majority or something. And I'm like, bro, that's not their fault. Like, just because you go make more money than the majority of other people, it's just my opinion. I just don't think that you should be taxed more just because you have more money. It's kind of on us how much money we want to make. You got to go get it. That's just the way our culture, here in America, I guess has worked. Like you gotta, if you want to be successful and you want to be this, you want to be that, you gotta go get it.
One thing that, and I figured this, it was in a book, an audio book or something I listened to. This was years ago, but it was saying that, and it's easy to look over across the street or, oh, look at this, media outlet or at this person training or this gym, this fighter, my friend. Like, just because someone else is successful doesn't mean that I'm not or can't be. Yeah. And so I think at times where it's like, well, they, made $10 million or something like that. They need to pay more. And it's like, well, just because they did doesn't mean I don't know. It kind of goes into play.
And one thing I think that some people, maybe they do think about it, maybe they don't, but like, you might not want to have that amount of money. You might not want to have that amount of responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of finances. It's a lot of stuff when you're at a level where you're making big money like that. Like, it's a lot of work, it's not like they're just sitting down on, there's some people that are for sure, but I'm just saying, like, if you're getting up to a point where you're making big money, like, look at a guy like Dana White. We've been talking about fighting. Like, you don't want to be him. You think you want to be him. You think you want to be him. He runs everything. He makes all the money. Bro, that dude, I guarantee you, he works all day, every day. Like, I don't think people realize, like, y'all like to sit at home and watch Netflix and you like to go out and eat and go to the movies. Like, bro, when you're working at levels like that, you can't do stuff like that when you want to. You got to work, So I don't think that people that decide to go live that kind of lifestyle and make big money should be taxed more on what they've literally worked to get. It just don't make sense to me.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's all unfolds.
Yeah, I'm literally just waiting, bro. This is the first election I've truly, besides Obama, because everyone was just the hype around, the first black president and everything was something. But this is the first election I've really kind of been like paying attention, and I'm like, I just hope the right thing.
Well, what's cool about Obama, I mean, for him, but also like someone young.
Yes. Well, see, and that's that's what they've been. I mean, we ain't got to even say, but they've been dogging Joe, and I get it though, because I'm like, man, how do you? Why? It's never made sense. Why would you have someone who's so old running the country? Like, you need someone in their 40s or something. That
live some life, some experience.
Yeah, got plenty of energy to go get it, go make changes. Got the motivation to do it, bro. I don't blame Joe Biden at all for all the dumb. Bro, he's he's literally old, bro. He has trouble walking. Like, how are y'all gonna hold? There's no way he can run a country. And it's been like that though. We had a bunch of all the presidents have been old guys. I think that's a change that definitely needs to be looked into.
Right.
I feel like a guy like Tucker Carlson or just guys like that. There's other guy. There's this one guy named Josh Hawley. I don't know if you know.
I don't know him.
Yeah, he's like this. He's like this board member or something. I don't know what he is exactly, but he would you write his name down?
Yeah. So I just saw.
Yeah, I see that. You write stuff down and go check it out later and stuff. Okay, nice. No, but his name's Josh Hawley, but I just like his mindset on a lot of the things we talk about, like issues and taxes and all that. If you go look him up, like he'll straight up tell you straight to your. He's not one of those board members who's giving you the runaround. He's straight up telling you what it is. You'll like him when you look into him. I just think he's he's big on family. He's big on everything we've been talking about. He wants things how they should be.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to speak out against any issues when it comes to the trans stuff going on, when it comes to taxes, all that. He'll put it out there.
Yeah.
And he does not care.
Dude, this is a fun episode. I'm trying to think how I'm gonna be like, go check this out. We talked politics, UFC.
Yeah, everything really.
Fury, Elevate. It's all on the table.
Yeah, literally though. There's a lot on this one that you can you can learn a couple things from this one. I feel like for real.
Yeah.
My little example I gave you a bit. This could help other fighters. I feel like who are coming into it. Hearing some of the I could go into more detail, but that gives you the sum of just some of the things that go on. Behind the scenes at least.
I know in November, going to make that Elevate debut. We'll have to get you back in studio. Maybe we'll go check you out training and put some content out for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm down. I'm excited, man. I'm just at a point in my life. I'm 27. I've done nothing but dedicate my whole life to this, like literally, like I have nothing. I mean, I can go do anything. I've passed on plenty of things. I've passed on job opportunities. I've passed on everything. I was supposed to meet a girl yesterday from Boston. She tours with this band or whatever, and we were supposed to go meet yesterday, but I had training, so I was like, it is what it is, so I'm just really not even hoping. I'm just really trying to trust in the work I'm doing and trust in this path, and and put it all out there. I've already had the fights where I was okay with death. Like literally in my own mind, like I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. Like if this is, that's just the kind of mindset it takes when you're in there and you're in those deep fights. And now that I've had all these experiences and I still only have 8 fights, that's what people don't understand. Like I'm hyped up or I've had all these main events, bro, damn near all of my pro fights have been main events now. My first fight, I fought a Russian. Second fight, I fought a jiu-jitsu world champion from Brazil, making his U.S. debut. He was 1-0. I was 1-0. My third fight, I fought Frankie Edgar's prodigy, B.J. Young, in New Jersey. Fourth fight, I went to New Mexico, fought on a mountain on an Indian reservation at a casino. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, I've taken nothing but crazy fights that people don't take, and I'm just really banking on the route I've taken paying off. I haven't taken the easy route, and I know the work that I'm putting in. So I just need to not dwell on what's happened, not dwell on how much experience I have. Like sometimes I feel like not that I'm not burnt out at all, but like I'll sit back and think a lot like, oh, I've been doing this so long, because I've been doing it. And even before, I told you, I was a kid. I was fighting in backyards in school. I went to alternative school, like for fighting. Like I've always been a kid who just, who wants to throw his hands, So I've been doing this literally my whole life, and I'm just really banking on getting this next year started on a good note and getting to where I need to be, and changing my life. My mom deserves it. My granny deserves it. Joelle deserves it. Anybody training with me, they deserve it. So it's not just about me. It hasn't been only about me, but it's really not about me. not only about me, you know. I'm in that equation, but there's plenty of people that, not saying that they depend on me, but they've trusted in me enough to where they've helped me. They've, you know, there's people that I can't even pay back, you know, just because you can't pay people's time back. I could give you $1 million, but I'll never be able to give you what you've given me time wise. And yeah, so that's just where my mind's at. I feel good, and I'm just really trusting in everything that I'm doing, and I made a big move leaving Fury, you know, because that's the #1 feeder now to the UFC. So I'm literally trusting in me and myself and my knowledge of the game and my skills. So I guess November 10th, we'll see.
Awesome. I'm excited to watch. Thank you so much for hanging out today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, dog.
This is Guardy with Clear Life Combat. Make sure you go follow Josh on social media. Stay up to date. And he's going to be debuting for Elevate. It's coming up quick. Y'all be blessed.